It's the giveaway. It's the giveaway. So first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for everybody for liking and subscribing and commenting on these videos, because that's ultimately what keeps this channel going. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger as this company grows, and so we're gonna give away something even bigger this time. It's time to give away a PSC bow. All you guys have to do to win this thing is the same thing that you've been doing. Like and subscribe to our channel, like every video, and comment. And you can comment as many times as you want. And when we go through and we pick, the more comments that you have or the more likes that you have, along with being subscribed to this channel, only improves your odds of winning this bow. We're literally giving someone a free bow, okay? Just to like and subscribe this video. So if you guys are interested in free stuff, and you didn't win this bow this time around, you didn't win these Vortex binos, you're still entered. Just stay engaged with the channel, keep liking the videos, keep commenting on them, and it's gonna help you win maybe trail cameras in the future, tree stands, things like that. Well guys, let's face the facts. There's a lot of BS out there. There's a lot of BS when it comes to how you should hunt whitetails. What's the right tactic? What's the right product to use? What works best? There's a million different ways to skin a cat, but there's one thing that I know there's one thing that I know that's true. There's a lot of myths about how you can get it done when it comes to killing mature whitetails. The biggest myth that I hear, whether it's from clients going around the country, or I see other people making videos about, or other quote-unquote experts, or even people who are pretty well respected within the industry, is they always talk about this one topic, and it drives me nuts. And they talk about this topic as if, you know, when this takes place, you gotta wait. You can't hunt. It's not the time to go in. This myth that I want to go over with you guys, this topic that I want to go over, is the topic of nocturnal bucks. Now let's be honest, how many TV shows, how many people have you heard mention, he's nocturnal, I'm not going to go in. He's nocturnal, I'm not going to go in. Let's think about this for a second, guys. There's a couple things that nocturnal pictures might mean, okay? So first and foremost, the one thing that I think about as a hunter, here's the thing, if I get a picture at all of a buck, whether he's there in daylight or not, I know he's in the area. I know he spends time in the certain area. Most likely, depending where I am in the country, that deer's not walking miles and miles and miles and consistently crossing my camera, even if it's at midnight. Heck, for all I know, guys, he might be 10 yards behind my camera at noon. We don't know. That camera only covers so much distance. So for people who strictly rely on, oh, it's only nocturnal photos, guys, it could be anywhere. It's just a camera that's focusing on 1% of the entire piece of timber that you want to know about, or the one thing that you want to know about. Now, unless you're in front of a corn pile, guys, these trail cameras are not catching everything, not even close. And what I'm getting at ultimately is, if you are getting more nocturnal pictures, or a lot of nocturnal pictures, you're just not close enough to where they bed. These deer, from a biological standpoint, need to get up and walk around occasionally. Now, don't get me wrong, it might be 10 feet, it might be 100 yards, but they have to get up and they have to move. So technically, whitetails are not nocturnal. When we talk about nocturnal animals only travel at night. Okay, they only are active during nighttime hours. That's not the case for whitetails at all. They're active a lot of times throughout the day as well. So to call them nocturnal at any point is simply inaccurate. Now, I get why we do it. I completely understand it. You know, you think you're only getting nighttime pictures, so therefore he's nocturnal. He's only walking at night. The reality is, you're not close enough to where these deer are. So what do you got to do? You got to scout more. You got to go out there, find the sign, and ultimately find where these deer are bedding, whether it's in the off season, maybe it's in season. I'm a big proponent of in-season scouting. Without in-season scouting, I wouldn't have killed half the bucks that are on my wall right now, or half the bucks that I've ever had encounters with, or anything like that would not be without in-season scouting. So the reality is, you might not be close enough. Go in-season scout, hunt your way into where you think these deer are bedding, so that you're close enough, so that maybe you start getting more daylight photos. Well, let's take a step back here for a second, guys. Like I mentioned before, your trail camera only covers so much ground. So who's to say that buck's not 10 yards behind, 50 yards off to one direction, or 50 yards off to the other direction? Just because you're not getting pictures of him in daylight doesn't mean he's not there. Realistically, think to yourself how much area is being covered by that trail camera. So one of my personal strategies is if I know a buck's in the area and he's consistent, even if he's at night, I know he's in the area, okay? So now I'm going in and I'm hunting the dang thing. The reality is when you get up in that tree stand, you're covering 360 degrees, guys. You're looking around and you can see everything. I have a story for you, a quick story at that. I had a trail camera on a location in southern Missouri. It was a beautiful spot, and that cell camera, I wasn't even planning on going hunting the property, but my gut told me to go hunt it, but I was getting a lot of nighttime photos, things like that. So of course you get caught into the gimmick or the thought process that those deer aren't there in daylight. I got up in that stand that night, guys, and I saw 7 different bucks within 60 yards, and a lot of them were within shooting distance. But you know why I wouldn't have known that otherwise? Because the camera wasn't pointing the right direction. How often does that happen? How many times do you catch yourself going out and saying, oh, my camera was right here, but I saw a dozen deer over here. And if I would have been strictly relying on my camera, which we should never do, use it as a tool, don't ever rely on it, you would have thought there's no deer in the woods, and you'd have been upset and you would have said, I'm not going out because I don't have pictures. Depending on where you even have your cameras, guys, you might have them in the wrong spot and you might be getting the wrong intel. And in fact, it's more likely than not, that's exactly what's happening. Even for somebody who's well-versed in whitetails like myself or anybody else, we can't always have them in the perfect spot. I mean, there's always places where they can sneak around them. So you just don't know sometimes. So to bank on your cameras or say he's only nocturnal, just based off of camera activity, is not a good strategy. It's not something that I would recommend doing on a normal basis. And like I said earlier, what I was trying to get at earlier is if I get a buck consistently, even at night, I'm going in and I'm killing them, okay? And more times than not, when you get up in that stand and you can see 360 degrees, you might put eyes on that deer because he's frequenting that area for a reason. And just because it seems like he's only frequenting it at night, now he might be, but he also might not be. There might be some reason or some different trail system that he's using to come back to a certain area that he's not using, that your camera is not on. Guys, there's a million different variables, and at the end of the day, when people talk about nocturnal bucks and they get set in their ways and they say, oh, this buck's only nocturnal, I hate to break it to you guys, most of you are missing a bigger piece of the puzzle. So whether it means you gotta get closer to the bedding area, find out where these deer are actually spending their time, because they are moving during daylight hours, and maybe you just are too far away, but maybe we go in and we find where they are so we can get closer and get daytime photos, or just daytime interactions with these deer. Maybe that's something you got to do. But otherwise, quit playing the game with yourself in your own head and saying that, you know, he's only on camera at night, so he's only here at night, because chances are that's probably not the reality. So if you had to ask me, guys, when it comes to nocturnal bucks, I'd have to say that they're one of the biggest myths. If you guys like this video, like a lot of my videos, like any of these videos, just like and subscribe. We're coming out with a couple videos every week. We're doing big giveaways. So if you guys like what you guys are hearing, drop a comment below, do something like that. And it's just gonna help you and ultimately help you guys win some of the prizes that we're giving away. Like I said, we're always doing giveaways. So stay tuned, like, and subscribe.